Radiant Sunday Worldwide World, the WHIRL Wide World. As every day and in many moments throughout the day, we find ourselves whirling and twirling and swirling through this vortex of change, through this paradigm shift, this paradigmic awakening, through a time lapse of epic proportions. These are the days that will be talked about. Today's video is dedicated to those in Gary, Indiana, who are enduring their own kind of hell on earth right now, and to deliver a message downloaded by the divine as I pondered on what all of this means and where I fit into the solution. The message in a nutshell that came to me said, this is not happening to us, it is happening for us, the melanation. My name is Letitia Lovely. This is Lovely Life TV. When I heard about the power outage happening in Gary, Indiana, the town had already been without power for almost a week. When I heard about it, I thought it was a temporary situation that was happening in conjunction with a friend of mine who lived in the suburbs, or who lives in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, who also experienced an outage. I thought that it was an outage in the entire area, and when the power was restored in my friend's neighborhood in Chicago, that all of the power had been restored. I am just now learning today on this Sunday that not only did the power go out in Gary, Indiana before the power was lost in Chicago, but that it continues. That it is a town that continues to be without power. Not only do I not watch the news, but I really don't tap in even on social media that much to the daily and day-to-day events happening in our nation. But I also learned that this story is vastly unreported or underreported. If you have more information, please comment. Please put this in the chat. And while I am beseeching you, please, family, if you run across this video, please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel so that messages like this can be linked to the chain of communication that we must build in a very short time to be our own broadcast system. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your time, which is valuable, and your support, which is even more valuable in this season. I learned that not only was this a story that was underreported, but I also heard, again, please correct me because I'm late to the party, or the disaster, more appropriately. From what I understand, there has been no national support, no FEMA, no Red Cross, no Salvation Army, no National Guard, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, that we are revisiting Katrina. However, it is even worse from the standpoint of the length of time that it is going. Not to the loss of lives as what happened in Katrina, but basically it's the same energy happening to a mostly melanated area. And it is a remembrance of the message and of our truth, family. And when I say family, I am speaking specifically to the melanation, to those of us who have gone under various titles in this corporation called the United States, be it colored, Negro, Negra, the N word with the hard ER, Afro-American, African-American, Black, all of those titles represent the indigenous nations of this landmass. I'm talking to you, the Native American, the true Native American. We are the chosen who are being sent a message through Gary. It is a message that is being sent through a disaster, which is often the only way to really get our attention. And it is the message that no one is coming to save us and that no one needs to. We are the stewards of this land, the originators of this planet. We are the creators. We are the inventors. We are the restorers. We are the brainiacs. We are the medicine people. We are the scientists. We are all we need to handle each and every disaster. And that is the message that we are being reminded in this season. This is not happening to us. It is happening for us. And while this message resonates on a spiritual level, there are real practical actions that need to occur in this moment. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But the reason that this message is so important is because those practical things that need to get done are very difficult for us to do because we've lost our way as a people, as a community, as a show of unity, as an ethnicity. We have lost our way. And unless we go back to ourselves, unless we come out of this fog, this brainwashed mind control that we have been put in, that we have been lulled to sleep through integration, and through the illusion that we have overcome something, that we are, quote, the same in this corporation, we will not survive the bigger crisis that is on the horizon. We have lost our line of communication, the line that held us together. It was called the church. Whether you were saved or not, whether you went to church or not too long ago, our parents and definitely grandparents and most assuredly great-grandparents had a whole network that they could call on in the time of crisis. They knew their neighbors. There was a way to get a message around faster than the telephone. There were our ancestors, our great-grandparents didn't even have a telephone, yet everyone in the community knew what was happening, knew when there was a disaster, could all pull together within moments to figure it out, to work it out, to come together and be their own solution. We have lost our way. We have lost ourselves. And largely, we have lost our minds. Straight like that. Myself included. Know that whenever I'm delivering a message through the Most High, the message is coming through me and it's coming to me. We have lost our minds. We've gotten placated by the illusion that all was right in our world, because in our small surrounding it was and is. However, we have entered the time of restoration. We are out of balance, and as above, so below. As the divine feminine is restoring the system of balance, the Ma'at of the Mother Universe, on the cosmic level, so must balance and restoration be restored in the community of the children of the sun, the mighty of this land. We are out of balance because we have lost our minds. We have lost the sense of community. We have lost the sense of neighborhood. We don't know our neighbors. What happened to the block parties? What happened to being able to go to a church, whether you were a member or not, and get the latest news? What happened was infiltration that led to separation. But the good news, and the reason that this is happening on a microcosm level with Gary, one town, is so we can get it together before this happens nationally, before this disaster comes to a neighborhood near us, so that we can put in place right now those mechanisms, those underground railroads that are now called internet. It has come from the underground to the internet so that we can link up and have a way to get the message to the masses in real time, so that we have a plan in place to gather our resources and help each other out. We don't need the government. We have never needed the government. That was our mistake to believe that we did. This is happening so we can remember who we are, and so we can step into our righteous reality, dust off our magic, activate our alchemy, and act like the gods and goddesses we are in this earth. It's more than a t-shirt slogan. Who we are is more than a caption that goes on a hat. It's more than a lyric that goes in a song. It is time to wake up, to snap out of this slumber and run this planet again. I heard Keith Lee talking about how he was going to go and bring supplies and this and that, and he had talked with the mayor and he was doing these things, and that's beautiful. All of us should do what we're doing right now. My first question was, wow, I would love to be a part of a GoFundMe. And then I realized, and that's when all of these downloads started coming, our infrastructure was purposely dismantled. But the good news is it won't take much and it won't take many to rebuild an infrastructure so that when the bigger disaster comes, we're ready, we're prepared. That's what this is for, family. This isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. And Gary, Indiana, whom I send all love and light, prayers for healing, and also some other things that those of us in the spirit realm, those of us who are alchemists, those of us who are magicians, those of us who know that this is not a carnal battle, those of us who know that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty to the pulling down of strongholds, we're doing things. And I'll just leave that right there, because the revolution will not be televised or advertised via YouTube. You know who you are and you know what we're doing. Others who can do, if you're in that area, I'm sure that you're doing what you can. Gary, Indiana is going through what they're going through, so we won't have to go through what they're going through, y'all. Everyone who hears this, say thank you to Gary, Indiana. They are being made the example, so we will wake the bump up. So as to not make this a 2-hour build, which I easily could, I am going to simply say this. Please support the rebuilding of the Melanation and how that looks for you. Whether it's rebuilding the links of the family you rock with, of the family that you are in alignment with. All skin folk ain't kin folk. All clear folk aren't to be feared folk. Whether it's rebuilding those links and those connections, whether it's getting to know your neighbor, whether it's donating to your local melanated run establishments that are there for your specific community. It is time to rebuild the network. In my experience, and I say this to not speak about or give advice on what you should do, I tithe to those I know or situations I directly know about. I do not give. I, Letitia Lovely, do not give to nationwide organizations that are saying that they're there to help people in crisis. The Military Without Salvation, if you can get that clue. The entity who has no goodwill for anybody, if you can pick up what I'm putting down. The broken femur, wink, wink, catch it, catch it, catch it. I do not give to large organizations requesting donations because 80%, 60 to 80%, if not higher, of those donations go to the administration of those organizations and not to the people who need the help. So find those small, local, nonprofit organizations in your area and get involved on that level, if you can find them, because so many have closed because of where we are and because of our becoming dependent on federal dollars to stay open instead of being dependent on ourselves as we were for thousands of years before 1933. But reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your family, however that looks for you, reconnect with your community, reconnect or connect with one or more channels from which you can get the right kind of information, that information that is not being reported on the matrix media. And finally, I have 15 Survive to Thrive tips to help all of us in the next disaster, whether that be a power outage for a day, for a week, for a month, whether that be a shutdown, whether that be the stores closed, whether that be nothing coming into the ports, whatever it looks like. These are 15 tips to help us be prepared to prosper in the panic. 1, water. In the event of a disaster and or an emergency, water is going to be one of the first things that fly off the shelf, and it's what we need the most. It is recommended that 1 gallon per person per day should be stored. I feel that's a little high, but use your own judgment. And remember that the water may be used for more than drinking. It may be used for cleaning. It may be used for bathing. It may be used for cooking. The water will have all kinds of uses, which is why such a high amount is recommended. 2, cooking implements that don't use electricity. One of the saddest parts of the Gary story is all of the food that is spoiling and that is being thrown out because it needs refrigeration. Almost everybody who listens to this video has a grill. We have one more major holiday coming up before winter. Stock up on that charcoal that goes on sale. Stock up on the wood. Even more than the charcoal, if they've got bags of wood, that mesquite, that apple smoked wood, that other woods. Go to the camping section, go to the barbecue section. Stock up a couple of bags each so that you've got something to start the fire. And speaking of starting the fire, stock up on the fire starters and matches. While we're talking about light, stock up on some form of light. Flashlights with batteries. Battery-operated equipment will be our friend in the time of a disaster. 3, cooking oil. I recommend peanut oil. Peanut oil is a very sustainable oil. It is a very multi-purpose oil, and it can be bought in bulk. We buy a 3-gallon container of cooking oil every Thanksgiving, peanut oil, and it literally lasts us almost the entire year. We're still using that cooking oil that we bought last November, and we're hitting September in a few days. The oil is going to serve multiple purposes as well. 4, canned goods / meats. For those of you who eat meat, I recommend less meat stocked in your freezer and more meat stocked on your shelves. In the event of an outage, that meat in your freezer is going to spoil, or it's going to have to go on the grill real quick, and y'all are going to be having block parties, eating slabs and steaks and sausages and all of that stuff, or you're going to lose it. When the more mindful thing to do would be to stock up on your canned chickens and your canned beefs and your hearty soups, if you're a meat eater, especially when they have sales. These are things that everything that I'm telling you outside of the cooking oil and the cooking implements and maybe the water can be purchased for $50 or less right now, at least the beginning of it. And then you can just continue to stock up as things go on sale. But literally everything on this list outside of those items can be purchased for $50 or less, such as canned goods. If you see them on sale, if you see the chili with no beans, meat eater, wonderful shelf sustainable product, because not only can that be eaten as chili, that can be added to pasta and made into a spaghetti, that can be added to beans to stretch that meal. There's a lot of versatility in canned chicken, canned tuna, and canned chili with no beans. 5 other non-perishable items, such as dried beans, dried rice, and or quinoa. In this instance, you want it to be the white rice. We can detox later, y'all, but the brown rice is not going to be as shelf sustainable as the white rice. So we're going to want to get a white rice. I would stay with a jasmine or a basmati, I believe. There's another one that I can't think of right now, but just beans and rice can go a long, long way. And with those canned goods, another item isn't a number, but add canned tomatoes. Whenever tomatoes go on sale, add those tomatoes. It's a natural source of acid, and it can enhance any item that you're cooking on your cooking implement. And I should add, along with the grill, if you can, go into the camping section of your big box store and purchase an implement that can be cooked on without fire, but that can hold properly. And you can do this on the grill, but if you can also get another implement specifically made for it, it will be better, that can hold 1, a pot, and 2, a pan. The pan can be used for quick sauteing or quick frying or quick cooking. The pot can be used for those one-pot meals where you can throw the beans and the rice and the tomatoes and other items into that one pot. And again, have a pot that can feed a family or that can feed a block, right? Okay, number 6. Along with number 5, my bad, y'all, add to that dehydrated vegetables. Not gonna forget about us, vegans and chegans and vegetarians. We want our veggies. And in a time of disaster, those dehydrated veggies that have a shelf life are going to add to the fiber, the nutrition, and the taste, because taste is going to be very important when all hell is breaking loose around you. At least let me get a good bite of food, right? That is going to sustain you. And while we're talking about taste, number 6 is spices. This is a very simple and relatively inexpensive item to stock up on, especially if you have a big box membership. They have these huge containers of spices that you can literally get for $6, $7, sometimes cheaper. Look for the unsalted versions, the salt-free versions of these, but have a large container of dehydrated onion, a large container of dehydrated garlic, and a large container of a multi-spice salt-free item. When I say multi-spice, it has in it already your cumin, your oregano, your basil, your thyme, your pepper flakes. Sometimes they have dried red peppers, etc., etc. Look on the label and try to find a spice that has, say, 10 spices combined in it, salt-free. That's going to save you money and save your life and save your mind. Keep you from eating something that tastes like crap. If you're going through crap, you don't want to eat stuff that tastes like crap. You want to be able to close your eyes to what's happening around you and just focus on a good spoonful of food that will feed not only your soul, your body, but it will feed your soul. It will give your mind just a moment of reprieve from what is happening around you. Number 7, have a waterproof packet that contains copies, if not the originals, of your important documents. That's your IDs, that's your insurance, that's your medical prescriptions. If you are taking medication, or like me, I am the caregiver of people who are taking medication, have all of those things with you in a waterproof packet, okay? Along with a supply of meds. If possible, it's always good to have more than the 1 month supply of meds if you have someone who is on medication, because if something goes down and the stores are closed, what are you gonna do? Number 8, a first aid kit, either one that you purchase or one that you make yourself, with the basics of an ACE bandage, of Band-Aids, of cleaning solutions such as alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, witch hazel, cotton swabs, and a pain reliever. In the time of crisis, we may not have time to get to our herbs, or it may be a situation where we don't have time for that to take effect. And again, in times like that, we have to bliss and alchemize the synthetic product and have a type of pain med on board, right? 9, dried fruit or something sweet. In a time of crisis, those feel-good experiences or those feel-good flavors will help sustain us. It's okay to have a little bag of hard candy or dried fruit to break up the monotony of the beans and rice or whatever that you're fixing in that realm. Number 10, something fun, especially if you have children. A pack of cards, a pack of Uno, crossword puzzles, things that can be done without electricity. When you're in a crisis, we don't want to have our mind in crisis modes, especially if we have youngins 24/7. We want them to be able to forget, and with children, we need to take that mind of a child and be able to separate. A child can be in the absolute worst environment possible and just be so enveloped in whatever game is right in front of them. We will need to be able to adapt that strength as well. We want to be able to do something fine. Have a couple of books that you can read, and not necessarily conscious metaphysical deep books. Have a Letitia Lovely book on hand, okay? Have a Zuri Day book on hand so you can get away and just be somewhere else for a moment. It will help your stress levels. Number 11, invest in a small solar generator. This is also outside of the $50 cap, but I think they can be purchased now for as little as $100. I'm talking about something with enough power to power your phone, if nothing else. if nothing else, to power your phone and perhaps a rechargeable flashlight or something like that. Number 12, a solar, satellite, or battery-operated radio. 13, write the phone numbers down that are in your phone. Not all of them, but your immediate tribe. If you have not memorized the numbers of those around you, you need to write those numbers down and put them in the same packet along with your important information, your medical prescriptions, etc. 14, get to know at least one of your neighbors. Now, for those who are in established communities, you've been in your home for years, you probably already know your neighbors, maybe even know the block, but there are many who live in apartments or who live in an area where they didn't grow up and haven't spent enough time and don't even know the people who live next to you. It is important to at least be on a first name basis with your neighbor, and if possible, to get to know them to the extent where you can exchange phone numbers. In an event of a crisis, it will take a village to survive, and that village is our neighborhood. It is our community, and it is the block to building and rebuilding our tribe as a nation. Okay, and finally, do for yourself what I'm sharing with you now. Have a plan of action. We want to have a plan of action that is written down so that in the moment of crisis, we know where everything is. We know what we need to do. We know who we can call. We're not freaking out because we don't have phone numbers. We've got food. We don't have to run to the store and beat somebody up over a loaf of bread. We already have what we need. And just a couple of other items that I do want to add, mentioning bread, is we want to have non-perishable bread-like items such as crackers. We want to have canned and or powdered milk. Okay, again, check out, you can just put it in the search engine of any social media site and you can make it specific to your livet, to how you eat. And there are, I promise you, over the years, since even before COVID, I've definitely looked at hundreds of them, and there's probably thousands, if not millions of them out there now. So with that being said, thank you. I know that this is a bit longer than I usually post. However, this is an important moment. So let's all stay abreast of this situation. Let's all continue to send our love, light, and whatever resources we can. Alchemists, priestesses, magicians, know and do. Again, thank you so much. This is a very important video. Please like it, please share it, and please subscribe. Help me be one of the links in the communication chain. I'm like Andre 3000 now. I got something to say. So until next time, shalom, ashe, and namaste.